hours a day, every day for apparently weeks and weeks. Blasted Christina Aguilera at him. Now that's really going too far. And, they also says just casually, oh yeah, he's supposed to read like a Tom Clancy novel or something, you know, a thriller where the good guys get the info out of the bad guy and break all the rules, and oh, isn't that blood fun? You know, totally pro-torture. And it even mentions, as though it's no big deal, a process called waterboarding, which has specifically been made legal now in this new Military Commissions Act. But this stuff, it sounds so benign, like snowboarding or skateboarding, but it's not. It's basically putting a cloth over you and putting water on the cloth until you feel like you're going to drown, which is excruciatingly painful, of course. And then they give you a little bit of time to breathe. It looks like you're about to die. And then they do it again. And then they do it again. And then look at these pictures, too. There's people inside Guantanamo Bay just kept in basically dog pound cages with hoods tied over their heads in the tropical Cuban heat. Day after day after day for 5 years and counting. Then we go to the next page. What happened to this guy? Being wheeled across, even strapped by the neck to this little cart or something that they jerry-rigged with a wheel. He looks like he might be dead or something. What happened to him? Gee, this is okay too. Ain't this great? Yeah, they made the guy wear women's clothes and all too. And a Muslim, no less. But anyway, it's all supposed to be okay now. Just watch 24 and you'll get used to it, just like you watch enough years of Cops to think it's okay for the cops to kick in anybody's door anytime they want to. After all, their skin is black or brown. They must be a suspected gang member. But no, torture is not okay. Concentration camps are not okay. Isn't this what both our countries entered World War II to stop Hitler from doing? Now it's okay? And as I kind of alluded to earlier, some of the worst people who were torturing the prisoners in Abu Ghraib were reservists. They weren't regular military personnel. The ones who were just called in an emergency, and all their job back home was prison guards. You know, it's already going on this side of the Atlantic. Waco, Texas, 1996, when Bush was governor, a video leaked out of all these naked prisoners being forced to crawl all over the concrete as they were clubbed and had dogs sicked on them. And of course, we trained death squads and torturers at the School of the Americas, too. And, you know, trained, one of whom was Manuel Noriega. And then Corcoran Prison in Southern California, guards staging cockfights with live human beings, where they just sort of electronically open the door of the cell of one member of one prison gang, then open the door of somebody from another gang. Oop, there they go, wandering into the commons. Place your bets when they run into each other. Oh my God, they're fighting so bad, we're just going to have to shoot. That's what they were doing. And then in Pelican Bay, California prison up north near the Oregon border, a so-called supermax prison, we boiled a prisoner alive. Only in this case, he actually survived and sued and got $1.5 million. But a lot of good that's going to do him. Imagine being in the burn ward for a long time or something like that. And so dear old Gray Davis, he had a great solution to that one. By law, from now on, prisoners cannot talk to the media. That's going to make the problem go away. Of course, Schwarzenegger has kept that rule in place, as if the media would care in this day and age. I mean, apparently Conrad Black is finally off the scene up here, but down where I come from, it's amazing how less and less actual news is on the TV news shows, the newspapers, whatever, with each passing year. I didn't realize just how bad it was till after September 11, 2001. About 5 days later, I flew over to Europe to start a tour, and I was just stunned by how much better the news coverage was over there. Even the mainstream conservative pro-business papers in England, the English language ones I could read, had far more in-depth stories, far more points of view allowed to be heard. Even the National Post was doing a better job than the New York Times or the Washington Post, let alone the USA Today at all, the Pravda of the United States. But just couldn't believe it. And this is what happens when Reagan deregulated the laws governing hostile corporate takeovers and mergers, and that was what allowed General Electric, one of the world's largest arms manufacturers and nuclear power component people, to seize control of NBC, thus giving General Electric executives editorial control over NBC News. And of course, ABC is owned by Disney, so all must sig heil to Mickey Mouse. And some of the most horrible right-wing talk show hosts who talk about putting AIDS victims in concentration camps and, we should just go around beating up immigrants and stuff, they're all on the Disney network. And, of course, Fox, you probably know well up here with Rupert Murdoch running the show. So that's what we get. As Brian Eno put it, it's not just propaganda anymore, but propaganda. Not just controlling what people think, but what they think about. So what we're fed as important news down south is, forget all the vote fraud and all the people getting tortured in our name and all the terrorists it's going to create who are going to want to kill us for years to come. Homeless people, don't think about any of that. What's really threatening to our way of life itself is Janet Jackson's titty. What are we going to do about Janet Jackson's titty? Oh my God, Martha Stewart's in jail! Oh my God, why isn't Dick Cheney in jail? Or, what you really need to be worrying about is everybody should be sitting on the edge of their chairs, worried, sick, about which one of those hoes after hoes after hoes groveling before those snitty judges on American Idol is going to get crowned the one who gets to tour the world singing the worst music I've ever heard. And the new one they're pulling now is, oh my God, what this election should really be about, God damn it, is somewhere right now, endangering our homeland security, somebody might be plotting to sing the national anthem in Spanish. Oh, you better keep pushing power, or the people are going to sing the national anthem in Spanish. I mean, they've even got this guy on CNN, who's CNN is a lot more like Fox News than people think it is. They just hide it a little more. You've got this guy on there named Lou Dobbs, who's supposed to be the business guru and the business reporter, but goes on in his ongoing series, Our Broken Borders. Oh my God, here come the brown people, more and more and more of them, their funny food, their other language, their, what are we going to do? And that's not enough. He's had people on, he hasn't said it himself apparently, he keeps having on guests to say it for him, that all these Mexican immigrants, as if there's a sudden rise and hordes of them from what there's been for the last 60 years or so. What he says is that it's all a plot by the Mexican government to flood the southwestern United States with Mexican immigrants who then plot to become citizens and vote to have their states rejoin Mexico.